Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be another First Impressions video. In today's First Impressions video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Atlantic Firearms Romanian RPK rifle. The first thing I have to say is, wow, this is literally the deal of the century, or I should say was the deal of the century, because these sold out in probably about 48 hours. So Atlantic Firearms, if you guys are watching this, I really hope you're going to be able to get more of these in, because I have a feeling this is probably going to be one of your best selling rifles. Now I know it is difficult to get them in, but if you do, I think you're going to sell out every single time. While we're on the topic of Atlantic Firearms, I just want to give them a quick shout out. So you guys know I've reviewed a couple of different firearms from them, and I always have had awesome service. So I am not sponsored by Atlantic Firearms or anything like that. Full disclosure, they give me a very small discount off the firearm itself for the review process. But what I love about them is every single time they tell me to give my unbiased total opinion, which I absolutely love. So they have an awesome website. They constantly are coming out with the coolest rifles like the one that you see here in front of me. And on top of that, they have some of the best prices I've ever seen, and they also have a layaway option. That's something a lot of people don't know. That being said, let's get into the rifle itself. So bear with me here. I am having a hard time fitting this beast in shot right now, but let's just do a pan of this entire Godzilla of an AK, because it is just awesome. Obviously, as you guys can tell, this is an RPK. The really interesting thing about this RPK is that a lot of the RPKs that you are seeing here in the country now are going to be Century imports. So Century has made a couple of different models. They had one model with a pencil barrel, and then they also had a model with the heavy barrel as well. But now on the aftermarket, I've been seeing prices on those guns, because Century no longer imports them, it's only on the used market. I've been seeing prices anywhere from like $1,000 to $1,200. This rifle here, which in my opinion is even cooler than the Century rifles, was coming in and they were selling them for $899. That blew me away, guys. This rifle is a build off a real Romanian parts kit. So it's really gonna be a cool rifle. The reason that I say that is because you're getting kind of this mix between an actual milsurp rifle, an actual RPK, and some newly made parts to kind of freshen up the whole rifle. And on top of that, Atlantic Firearms has put on their battle-worn finish, which I find awesome. You're gonna find kind of patina around the rifle. They use new American-made parts to make it 922R compliant. One of those American parts is going to be the Green Mountain barrel that is going to be chrome lined. As you can see, it is the heavy profile barrel, which I absolutely love. And then they also put on a newly made receiver. There are quite a few other internal US made parts as far as the trigger hammer, a couple different springs and pins like that. But other than that, you're getting pretty much as close as you're ever going to get to an off-the-boat Romanian real RPK. Other than the fact that it's been neutered because of our laws to be semi-automatic. So you're gonna have your standard clubfoot stock. This is going to be designed to shoot nicely in the prone position, or I actually found it to shoot really well when I was shooting from the bench. You will also get a standard Bakelite pistol grip. I will say this pistol grip has obviously been through hell. It shows quite a bit of wear, and this is actually going to be the only piece of the furniture that I will be switching out. It still looks pretty cool, but for me, it's a little bit too much wear. Not really a problem. A aftermarket Bakelite Romanian grip costs about $4 on RTG parts. Then our forend here is going to be your standard chunkier RPK forend that does a great job at dispersing heat when you get the gun really hot. Moving forward here, again, we can kind of see which parts are original RPK and which parts are new, but this Green Mountain barrel, they did a really good job at putting kind of a patina on it. And then also, probably one of the coolest features that I love about the RPK series is this built-in bipod. This bipod is super sturdy. I found no issues from it at all. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to shoot it from prone. However, shooting it from the bench with the bipod was awesome. I felt some other bipods that were kind of like wonky on some AKs that weren't really great and move a lot. This one does not. When they say they're battle-worn finish, you guys have to understand that there may be some parts that are going to be more worn than other parts. These were literally taken off of actual machine guns. Some of the parts did show a little bit of corrosion. Those parts were the front of the bipod. Inside, right on the swivel piece, I did find quite a bit of corrosion underneath there. There must have been a small spot of rust, so when I started actually cleaning it up, that kind of started coming out a little bit. Not a huge deal there. I've just been spraying it with CLP just to kind of get in there and blow out whatever else is in there, and it's doing a good job, and I don't think that will cause any further issues. And the only other spot that showed a little bit of corrosion was right here on this rivet underneath the safety selector. Let's get into how the rifle shot. There's not really any other way to describe it other than the fact that it is a standard AKM on steroids. You immediately feel like you can lay down like suppressive fire in a battlefield from this thing, and it's really what it was designed for. This was basically like the ComBlock version of our SAW 249. You can still heat up this barrel and it is going to stay accurate much longer than your standard AK-47 barrel. And I made sure, even though I couldn't do active shooting at the standard outdoor range, that I actually stopped at the indoor range where I work at on the way home from that first range day and did a ton of mag dumps. We did probably about 100 rounds. All of that functioned flawlessly. Also, the bipod did a really good job during those mag dumps at keeping the gun stable. I really enjoyed shooting it, and I cannot wait to get more rounds downrange to just kind of see how much this rifle can take. As far as the internals, another thing I want to mention is just how smooth everything is, and that is for a reason. Some AKs are going to have really tough safety selectors to move up and down. I can literally take this selector with a pinky and move it down. You also do have 3 positions. Obviously, what would be the standard full auto position on a regular AK is still semi-auto on this version. But also, if we take a look under the dust cover, we can see that our hammer is completely polished and worked over from the factory. I love that they did this because it just shows the attention to detail. Also, if we look at the bolt itself, it is going to be polished all in the right places to ensure some of the smoothest functioning that I have ever felt on an AK. While we're looking on the inside here, the bolt and the bolt carrier are serialized and they are matching. The recoil spring and dust cover are all matching to the original serial number that the RPK had. Obviously, this is now an old serial number. The gun has a new serial number on the new receiver, but I just find this so cool that all the parts are original, but not only are they original, they are also matching. So the gun is going to ship with 1 standard Romanian 30-round steel magazine. I did try it with a couple of different other AK magazines, and I had 2 that did not fit. My Bulgarian Circle 10 magazines, these just were a little bit too tight, and then also my Yugo magazine did not fit either. Again, just a little bit too tight. These guys are either Polish or Korean. These fit just fine, pretty tight, but no wobble at all, so I was really happy there. I did test about 3 of them. They all functioned fine. Also, my standard Generation 1 Magpul magazines did function fine as well. You guys know in the past, some of the Romanian rifles had the problem of being too loose in the magazine well. We have just a slight amount of wobble here, but that is completely normal for an AK. And to be completely honest with you guys, I'd much rather have the issue of a magazine being tight and one that you could just file down a little bit to make fit, other than a magazine being too loose and you never being able to make it fit. The total round count that I have through the gun in this first impressions video was about 200 rounds, and I did shoot steel and brass case ammunition, and obviously both function flawlessly. I had no doubt in my mind that the rifle was going to function well. It's pretty much a given that a standard RPK is going to run reliably. So overall, guys, I think this rifle is phenomenal. That's pretty much going to wrap this video up, guys. Be sure to head down to that description and check out the Firearm Freedom Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter account. We actually now do daily posts on all 3 of those, and also make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. It'll make sure you guys don't miss out on any of the awesome videos that I have coming out here on the YouTube account. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more great videos to come soon.